Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. My Bad Bunny robot came in. Okay, let me open it. Oh, here's a button to turn it on. Boop. Oh, sorry. Maybe the settings are wrong. Let me change the language to French. French? Sorry. Bad Bunny robot. Aren't you supposed to be Bad Bunny or?
Hi, close, not quite. Maybe a mediocre bunny? Maybe a soft bunny? Maybe a little dainty bunny?
This this did not meet my expectations. I was not expecting this.
Wow. Get in here!
My name is Curly.
And I'm Maya.
And welcome to the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast.
A super secret club where we talk about super secret things.
Yeah, like secrets that are super.
That's what it is.
In each episode, we'll talk about love, friendship, heartbreaks, men, and of course, our favorite secrets. Get in here!
Well, I mean, listen. Oh my god, Bad Bunny, I love your work. Bad Bunny team, I love your work.
My prima made me listen to that entire album in Hawaii from number 1 to whatever number song. I cried at the end of the album.
It's good.
It's so good. I didn't think
really
I'm not really a Bad Bunny song, and I think that I might get dragged for this.
Fan.
But I think that his voice can become a little monotonous. It's like from the same part of his, it's like, you know?
See, you actually do a great impression. And we can say this because we've met Bad Bunny, so.
Yeah, I feel like he sings from like both the back of his throat, but like in his chest or his stomach, and he's
got a fast vibrato. Ooh.
It's like, good thing my cousin's like, he does not sound he gets so mad at me, and I'm like, I can't hear a whole album of this man just like sounding crazy out here.
How's your spirit?
Spirit's good. I just got this really cool thing off of TikTok. It's called Evil Goods. It's like whipped tallow honey bomb. It's supposed to be, I'm not going to show it because it's not a commercial, but it's supposed to make you look super young because supposedly Salma Hayek puts fat on her face. So then I decided I was going to put fat on my face too.
Right.
How's your
And
spirit?
you can say that because she's your friend.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? Salma Hayek is my friend. We met once in an interview, and she called me a cabron, and the rest is history.
Sounds like true love. Sounds like true love. My spirit is good. I washed my hair, and honestly, I've been using those crimpers. I feel like everyone's crimping their hair again. Not the like
your hair looks
super.
So good.
Thank you. Not like the super tiny crimper, but like the beach wave type of things with like the girlies know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Like the three little prong clamp thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been using that, and it's been frying the shit out of my hair, so I had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in repair mode. Oh. Well, yeah, I'm in repair mode now because when I don't use any heat on my hair and just leave it alone, it grows so fast. But whenever I straighten it or do my little tricks with it, it starts breaking off like crazy. So
I'm really will do that to your hair.
I'm trying. And it's not because I hate my hair. It's because I love to change my look. And I love a good little, like, I do my hair like very big and luxurious and
I wish that I could do that. I was just thinking about that yesterday, about how girls can change their hair and do a bunch of different things. Like they can change their look according to how they want to dress, and like can't really do that with guy hair.
Welcome to the other episode, everyone. This episode, we're going to be talking about expectations. I just had this thing, like I've had this my entire life. My mom has told me this all the time. Lower your expectations, or just don't expect anything. You shouldn't do anything to expect anything. You should do things out of the goodness of your heart, because, and I'm like, yeah. She's right. But I struggle with it because, like, ChatGPT says expectations often exist in our minds, but we assume others understand and operate by the same rules. So this can be expectations for friendships, for coworkers, for relationships, romantic relationships, expectations for yourself. I just want to ask some questions and dive into it of like, are we hindering ourselves for having them, or are they necessary boundaries? Are they good or bad? Like, because sometimes expectations are like, you have high expectations for yourself, right? So then can you have those same high expectations for other people? Like, is that just something where you feel self-love, where you're like, this is the new standard and I expect this? Or is it control? And are you just kind of obsessed with the outcome and things fitting into your standard? And, you know, like it's, I don't know. What do you think?
Right off the bat, we were talking yesterday and I was like, I think to me, the healthy way to do anything in life is to have like a balance, right? Like the middle way, as they say in Buddhism, which we'll get into a little later. But I was like, we kind of all have expectations every day, right? Like we all expect to wake up tomorrow. I expect to get into my car with its internal combustion engine and for it to start working. You know, you expect your man to stay loyal. We hope. You know, and I expected Trump to lose and he didn't. So sometimes you're just like, you know, but I think we all kind of have expectations every day. And I think that kind of is what makes us, I think it's deeper than, it almost feels like there's different forms of expectations, right? Like, because I think that when you put expectations on people and friendships and stuff like that, it goes back to, I think you said it where you were like, well, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have handled it. But I think that for me personally, and I want to know what you think too, I think that it's important to have expectations of people because otherwise, what's the answer? You're just like a little dead little rock. You're like, it's fine. I don't expect no one to do anything.
Exactly. It's like, is it a form of self-love where you're like, this is what I deserve. I deserve to be treated kindly. I deserve to be, and it's like, yes, I deserve to be considered, but whenever my expectations are let down, whenever I'm let down, it is the end of the world for me. I feel like I revert back to like a younger version of myself who remembers constantly being let down, whether it was by a parent figure, by an older sibling, by a teacher, by myself, you know, and then having this kind of complex that I never want to make anyone feel like that. So I'm going to show up. I'm going to overcompensate. I'm going to make sure that everybody feels considered. And then when I don't feel considered, I'm like, like, how could somebody ever do that? I could never do that. Not knowing that, like, they don't know your language. Like, they don't know, like, the code of or the triggers yet, you know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's certain things like you should expect to be respected, right? You should expect to be safe. You should expect to meet all these things. But some people, I think, have expectations that are a little bit like, you know, I expect my man to pay for everything and take care of me. I don't know about that one. Like, I expect, you know, my woman to go into the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Well, bitch, you about to get some, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different things that I feel like you kind of have to ask yourself where your own compass is in terms of like morale or like progressiveness or being conservative or wherever you're at, and then decide what your expectations are. Because I think that if you expect people to do, you know, on a larger scale, right? If there's men who expect women to act a certain type of way or women who expect men to act a certain type of way, like, I hope you are disappointed. I hope you do get disappointed. I hope you do get upset. Like, nobody owes you anything in that aspect. But if you're like, no, I expect that when people come, like for me, for example, like in our family, like if somebody new comes into the house, we as a family expect them to saludar, right? Like, say hi, say hello. Like, you don't live here. Like, we have different expectations all around. But
so I have a question too. Like, when it comes to someone you're dating, and if you're constantly feeling like you're let down by the expectations you have, but you vocalized it to them over and over again, maybe they keep forgetting, or maybe they just are not, reciprocating. Like, then when does it become a conversation of like, hey, but not in such a harsh way where it's like, you're not meeting my expectations. Goodbye. Beep.
Yeah.
And then they fall into the trap door.
Robert, what are you doing here? Well,
you didn't meet her expectations, did you? No. What did you do? I don't know.
Michael, Chad.
Michael. Ew, not Chad. I would never date a Chad.
Never say never.
Never. And no more J names.
Anyways. What do you think? How do you answer that?
I'm asking you. Like when does it become, is it the end? Is it over if they just don't try?
Well, that's kind of really interesting that you would say that to me, right? Because in a lot of my relationships, so I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, avoidant / secure, and a lot of that just means I'm a robot, basically. I'm very warm, but sometimes in relationships, I don't necessarily know how to give people the sort of emotion, the sort of reactiveness or reactions to what they want. Like, I'm the type of person, if you were to be like, I'm gonna leave, I'd be like, wonderful. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to leave,
see you tomorrow. Bye,
yeah,
buddy.
I don't know what to tell
Hope you find
like,
your dad.
I don't, but it doesn't mean that I don't care. It just means that I don't know how to, like, the way that I see it is almost like bigger picture, right? Like, your anger or your sadness, when attached to an outcome, is where the pain kind of comes from, right? Like, so whatever that is, like, if I'm like, look, I would love for you to stay, but if you want to go, why would I want someone to stay who wants to go? So it gets kind of hard because I'm like, I don't know what the right answer to that is. Like, I don't know, like, when it comes to relationship, like, if, like, for example, if I say to you, I have a certain thing happening where someone is asking of me to be more vocal about my emotions in terms of being sweet in my language. I don't have that. I didn't grow up like that either. We were very sweet with each other and kind, but like, I think like I didn't grow up in a household where people were like, mi amor, cariño, mi alma, tú eres mi todo. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I'd be like, bitch, get off of me.
Como te necesito. Como te extraño.
I don't know. My love language is is like, damn, you're fucking fine as fuck. And when we get home, I'm gonna fucking bounce on that face. And then after that, I'm taking you to fucking, I don't know, get a chocolate churro or some shit. Or maybe I'll give you a chocolate churro. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, yes. Well, yes. I feel like a part of my undiagnosed OCD, ADHD, and who knows what else is in there. It's a grab bag. Could pull anything out of there and I'd be like, that makes sense. No, yeah. Unmedicated, but fueled by weed. Anyway.
I mean, the devil's lettuce.
I feel like I have an attachment to outcomes.
Outcomes, yeah.
When it comes to events. Like, I build high expectations, almost a fantasy thing where I'm like, I'm going to go, I'm going to see someone that's cute. They're going to walk up to me and they're going to say, you are cute. Can I get your number?
Oh my God. And that did happen to you and you were like, no.
Because they were a 19-year-old baby. It was at Disneyland. He was shorter than me, had a pudgy baby face, and asked me, came up to me. This fool came up to me and said, hey, how old are you? And I said, how old am I? He's like, yeah, how old are you? I'm like, 31. Or when you're listening to this, 32. And he's, because my birthday. Anyway. And he goes, God. Oh, well, could I have your Instagram or your number? I go, no. No. Exactly like that. No. No. And he was like, oh, I just wanted to tell you that, you look good. You look good. I go, thank you.
I love that you're waiting for your girlfriend outside the bathroom, right?
Hurry up. She's all tamped up. She's taking a long time. Oh, my friend, she got like chorro at Disneyland and had her period at the same time. So, not only was I waiting for in line, I was waiting for her in the bathroom. So, love you, Carmen.
Oh, not her name. Oh my God, bleep her name.
No, she'd love it. It's fine.
Oh my God, that is so fucking funny.
So I didn't expect that to happen.
So maybe you have to be a little bit more specific in your fantasies and your expectations.
Well, I am. And then I get disappointed. And then, if it's an event where like a singles event or like just like a work event, I'm like, I'm going to go and this is going to happen. And and then I come home because none of that happened. And I'm like, fuck. Shit.
Yeah.
And I get really upset.
That's so crazy.
Like, of course that didn't happen. Like, I throw a fit.
I feel like whatever part of my brain, I don't know how to explain it to people, but I feel like I just got booped on the head hard enough where like my medulla oblongata is just like, it doesn't have a lot of expectations on people because I just don't care. Like, I just don't have like a thing where I'm like, for better or for worse. I actually was telling my cousin where I was like, I don't care about a lot of things, and like where I feel like sometimes it can frustrate people because they'll be like, no, I want you to care. And I'm like, but I don't. Like, why am I going to get upset with something? I don't have, I think we've talked about this before, like between me and you, where I'm like, there's nothing in my brain that goes, we should care. Like, I don't know I forgot where it was. Like,
you got me drinking coffee at 5 p.m. That's what you do to me.
Oh my God, what was it the other day where I was like, I was just like, yeah, I just don't feel like that sort of energy. Oh, because, but the one thing that I will say, and it links back to the whole thing of like, I'd give you this, so why can't you give me this in reciprocation, right? And I do start to care, is that because I don't care so much, I don't like when people do care about something that I do. So like, let's say like with fashion, right? Like, oh, maybe fashion I do care, but with certain things when people do it to me, like, why, if I say something's ugly and they're like, oh, curly, don't say that. Like, that's not a very curly thing to say. Like, you would never call it ugly. And I'm like, why can't I be mean once in a while? Why can I like, I called one of my cousin's exes a thumb. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
And my family was like, oh, don't call them a thumb. And I'm like, I'm getting protective of my family member. That person's a thumb. But I'm not allowed to do that. When somebody else is like, I fuck her, I'm like, that's you. Like, like that's your feelings. Like, I don't police people, and I feel like people police me a lot. And I expect people not to police me.
But see, the solution to that is communication, and I think that's the biggest thing of all of this stuff is when we get, especially when it comes to like communication with relationships and friends, those are like, because our expectations, boundaries are what? Like, it feels like such a weird ass like word and kind of mystical thing that is just exists. And yet I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of attachments are another thing, because we're attaching to serve a part of our narrative or to kind of in a way feed our trauma and our ego.
Yeah,
but
that's what we were talking about before.
This next part is really good. This next part is good. Are you gonna read that?
Yeah. So basically, what we were talking about yesterday is you were like, what you had asked me, like, what is the root of this what is the root of all of this? Like, why are expectations why do they weigh so heavy on us? And I was like, I really think that it's truly just the ego, right? Like, I think that talking about Buddhism, I talk about it with Johnny Pachuga, one of my lessons all the time, where we like say that like when your attachment,
a guest of the show.
Yes, who has been the guest on the show. When you have attachment to something, an outcome, it really is rooted in ego. ChatGPT was talking about in Buddhism, it teaches that attachment to expectations can lead to suffering. Expectations, particularly when they are rigid or unrealistic, can create disappointment when things don't go as hoped. This is closely related to the Buddhist concept of craving and clinging, which are seen as the root cause of suffering. So it's kind of like if you expect somebody to do something, if you don't have that expectation, you're never going to get hurt. But you also don't want to be those people that it's like, well, if you don't expect nothing, you'll never get hurt. It's like, bitch, you can expect some shit. Like, no, expect to find love, expect to find happiness, expect to, like, I deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, if I don't expect
you hear
it,
that? He deserves that.
I deserve that. I'll never get hurt if that doesn't happen. Blah, 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 blah. Like, no.
That's like saying, just don't care. Just care less.
Exactly.
It's like,
just care less. Which is true. It's not bad. It's not like
in
inherently
moderation.
Bad. Well, like, it's not inherently bad, but if you're like, well, at that point, you're just brain dead if you don't care about anything. Like,
exactly.
But like, what do you think? Like, you know, it goes back to what we were talking about too, that in Buddhism, the big thing that they talk about, and one of the things that I always say is like, it's the middle path, right? Like everything in moderation. Like the minute that you go too hard or heavy into one thing, it just becomes toxic. So for me, I just think about the universe. I think about, they say the only constant in this universe is change, right? It's movement. And in fashion, when you make clothes or when you sew clothes together, your seams on the side, like here, like we leave extra seam allowance so that if you get thicker or you get skinnier, you can take it in. Like we won't necessarily like take away the seam allowance. And so I think to myself, like, how do we give our expectations a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of that seam allowance to allow for like a fluctuation? Because as I always say, like in the universe, just one law of everything is that everything fluctuates. The waves, you know, our lungs, the
moods.
way that everything, earthquakes, moods, the skies, like everything fluctuates. And so I think allowing that wiggle room for your expectations on people within reason, which we'll get to too, is I think you have set your boundary, and we'll talk about that too. But
yeah, and I think the way I used to view going to different events, like I said before, I would break my own heart, hurt myself a lot because I had high expectations for a lot of these things because it boiled down to control. Mm-hmm. I think growing up, I felt like my mom was a guest on the episode on an episode before, and I don't know if people caught this, but I didn't say it in real time. She was like, Maya just grew up, you know, being so mature for her age. And, you know, when therapists usually like clock that, it's because the child had to be like, because there's no control in the home and they had to grow up a little bit faster. And not saying that they, you know, put us in any like really horrible harm's way, but my parents are eccentric. And they are, you know, artists. And so there's a lot of off the wall shit that we did that made my brain be like, okay, are they accounting for this? No, okay, I'm going to overcompensate so that this, I'm going to remind my mom, I'm going to remind my dad. Like that's just the type of stuff that I had to like do, you know? I did grow up a little faster because I felt like I at times was not in a space where, you know, and this is stuff my parents and I talk about all the time. Like, you know, we totally dissect that, like, that moment in time where, you know, and so we've talked about it a lot, so I feel comfortable sharing it. But the thing that they've also taught me is, on the other hand, you have to let things flow. Like, I understand releasing your expectations when it comes to things you cannot control, like an event, like a birthday party outcome, like a friend outcome, or a first date, because I'm not God, I'm not the universe, I'm in charge in some way, but there are things that we have all felt, religion, spirituality or not, that are out of our control, that just happen. I think it's about working on flowing rather than controlling, And especially when it comes to relationships, like not expecting people to read your mind and not expecting perfection, but also not settling for crumbs. And I think the reason why we default to maybe these expectations and feeling a little bit sad when they don't work out or someone disappoints us is because we're not addressing the bigger issue, which is communicating and advocating for yourself and your needs.
Yeah.
And if that other person isn't capable of meeting you at that place, the compatibility is just off, and that's fine.
And that's okay, yeah, because that's kind of the other thing too. Like, if you get to the point where you're like, we're just not compatible, we're just not hearing each other, like, there's nothing wrong with that as well. Like, you know, to the point of somebody telling me, you're not as cariñoso as I'd like you to be, but I am trying and I am practicing, but it's not meeting your standards. Like, the other person has to make a decision in terms of like, well, what do I want to do? And I think that it's a two answer too, right? Like, it's not just about expectations, it's also just about what are your own parameters, what are your own boundaries, like, what are you willing to put up with, and what are you willing to be like, we tried, we really gave it our all, and I'm just like, not, because that's why I've left a lot of my relationships. I'm like, you know what, we're just not compatible, and that's okay. We're not bad people in that sense. There's nothing wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with some people, but like, you know, I think it goes back to what can you put up with, because at the end of the day, you get to choose how you're going to react to stuff. You get to choose what your behavior is going to be. And also, like, at the end of the day, like, it's really about having conversations, I think, with yourself and your community in terms of like, am I expecting too much? Is this too wild? Because sometimes with me, like, all my best friends, all of you guys like to tease me when you're like, what's the but? Like, what did the guy do? Like, okay, he sounds cool, but what's the thing that, like, you know, is not what it's not meeting your expectations? And I'm like, I don't know. He has weird coffee breath all the time, you know? But I think that you're right in terms of communication, getting your opinion out there and your point out there, hoping that you can meet somewhere in the middle. But I don't believe that expectations are a bad thing unless they are in a space of being rigid, and unless they are in a space of like wanting to control people. Like, you know, for sure my parents were expecting me to be straight, but we got them there, kid.
Joke's on you. Yeah, and it's also like, are these expectations that I have on other people, are they realistic, mutual, communicated clearly, but most importantly, realistic? Mm-hmm. Like, am I expecting them to do the same thing that I would do, or is it, yeah, like just a rigid type of thing that, like, you know, you should show up? I don't know. It's
yeah. And then
so
it,
complex.
Gets deeper, because it's like, is it tit for tat? The other thing that I did here too, by the way, is that if you're really good at something, let's just say, right, you're really good at expressing yourself emotionally, and you're like, mi amor, or whatever, I feel this way, and you're really just good, expressive with your words. And the person that you're not, the person that you're with isn't. There's a lot of people that say, like, you should reflect the energy. But at the same time, I heard somebody else say, like, just because they're not good at what they do doesn't mean that you have to be bad at it too. So just keep doing it for you. Like, you don't have to be like, you don't have to change behavior that's actually amazing that you do already. Like, you don't have to stop being a caretaker or being sweet just, just because they aren't. You can just choose to like move it elsewhere and just do it with some other people who either might reciprocate in the way that you would like for them to do, or, you know, you just keep it moving. And I think the best thing about having being alive is that you get to choose how you maneuver in a lot of ways, I would say.
Welcome to the astrology portion of the podcast. All right, we got some. It's gonna be a bit, because I'm not a bit, but it's gonna be a little bit of a lot, because I'm going through all the signs about expectations. We're gonna go through the sun, moon, and rising signs. Sun sign in terms of expectations. Your sun sign is what you expect from life and others. Your moon sign, emotional expectations and how you react when they aren't met. Rising sign, expectations people have of you versus what you actually deliver. So if you know your rising and your moon and your sun sign, you could apply these to those. If you need to figure out what that is, go to cafeastrology.com. Any astrology page, type in your birthday, your birth time to the T, exactly location you were born, and it'll give you all that stuff. So Aries expects love to be thrilling 24/7, but may struggle when things settle. And this is ChatGPT. That
expects
I'm like
love to be thrilling 24/7.
Yeah,
what do
like,
you think?
Kind of. I'm an Aries sun, moon, and Venus. So yeah, sometimes when things kind of hit a lull, I'm like, they fucking hate me. We're gonna break up. And not that I'm bored, but I do get bored quicker if my partner is complacent. So that makes a lot of sense.
Complacent in life, or what do you mean complacent?
Complacent in love and in life, because I'm like, I want you to like show me some zest, show me some passion, some excitement for your life, some excitement for me, for love. Like, I want to feel that, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't have that and it's just me, like, boring. Next.
Boring next. This one I really
Taurus.
liked. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. Taurus expects loyalty, but sometimes confuses stability with stagnation. Confuses stability with stagnation. That confused me a little bit. Like, they feel like they're doing it, but they're not doing it enough.
So Tauruses are really big on loyalty, right? Loyalty, I think, in the same way that thrilling, with you, like love can be thrilling. What might be thrilling to you might not be thrilling to me. What might be thrilling to me might not be thrilling to you. So that's where it gets kind of weird for me. Loyalty, I think that like Tauruses love that shit, but I'm like, I don't know what you define loyalty. Confuses stability with stagnation. I feel like this is kind of another way of saying like they will also get bored. Like they also might like a little bit of drama too, because they'll be like, oh, like this person, but sometimes confuses stability with stagnation. So they'll meet someone and be like, this person's stable, but they're stuck. Like, you know, because
Tauruses are a mystery to me, I will say. I think that I know them, and then I like hear something else, and I'm like, I've had Taurus best friends, bestie best friends, 2 of them. And it's interesting. Like, I feel like I need to go back and like think of how this applies. Gemini expects effortless conversation, may not account for emotional depth. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, that's what I always say about Geminis, right? Like, I always say that they're like little bumblebees that just go from flower to flower, but they want everyone to be able to do what they do, and not everybody can maybe be as open as, you know. But I find Geminis to be kind of like...
Yeah. So if you apply this to your sun, your moon, it's like if it's your moon sign, emotional expectations and how you react when they aren't met, effortless conversation may not account for emotional depth. So they expect communication and how you yeah, okay. Interesting. Gemini, I need to learn more about the air signs and a little bit of the earth signs. I know Virgo pretty well, I feel like. And Capricorn pretty well.
I feel like air signs are the ones that are a little bit more of like an anomaly for me. Like
they are.
Yeah. Do you want to do this one?
Sure.
Cancer expects unspoken emotional understanding, gets hurt when partners don't intuit their needs. Like have intuition. I literally just said this. Cancers, I believe, I think cancers are a little bit tit for tat, and I said crazy expectations. What I should have said was intense expectations, where they expect that the person that they love and the way that they express their love, they expect the person to do it exactly, or if not more. Which is
the core of this whole episode. They are the kings and queens of
emotional expectations. Yeah. And then the other thing too that they're not maybe ready to hear is that they can be vengeful if they're hurt, or it's funny because cancers are really good at holding grudges, I feel, but they'll be like, I'm fine, but I'm like, nah, it's dormant, it's in there, that expectation, it's in there. Leo expects to be adored, but sometimes overlooks their partner's needs.
Yeah. I know Leos that I am very close with. And yes, I think sometimes with maybe low frequency Leos or and I don't just want to put it on like you're low frequency, but like people who are maybe in the beginning of their healing journey, I think they expect to be adored, but it overlooks their partner's needs in a way of like outsourcing validation and not really acknowledging like, oh well, what if my partner needs that same validation themselves? Like, but the thing is Leos want to be loved as well, and they actually, I think they really care about their partner's opinion, and sometimes they need that to be addressed before they invest in their partner's needs sometimes.
That's so interesting because I feel like for me, Leos, I only know female Leos, and I find them to be very caring, like very like, are you okay? Did you eat? Like they're very like motherly, I guess. But I can't think of any. Yeah, I can't think of any Leo men off the. My
brother and my dad. Oh. Anyway, Virgo.
I feel like when it comes to like toxic traits from all the signs, I'm like, are we talking about straight men? Because then yes, you know, like,
yeah.
Virgo, it's so funny when you were like, what do you think Virgo expects? I was like, perfection.
It says Virgo expects perfection and struggles with small disappointments.
I feel like with me, as a Virgo, speaking for a healed Virgos, I think that I actually don't expect perfection. I'm very okay with.
Do you expect it of yourself?
I think that for me, it's not that I expect perfection. It's that I expect growth. That's me. Like if I'm growing, if I'm learning, if I'm doing all these things, if I'm doing a lot of work to get better, to know, I also expect you to do that too. And I am disappointed when people are stuck in their old habits. You know, like I've been known to tell people like, how are you? And by people, I mean like people in my family or my parents. And I'm like, how are you like in your 60s and you're still worried about stuff you were worried about in your 30s? You still have the same habits. You know, I have those like disappointments, I would say.
Interesting.
What's on her lip gloss?
Libra. Huh?
What's on her lip gloss?
This is Ariana Grande's. It is. Free. She popped off with this lip gloss. It's the Glossy Bomb Strawberry Soda. It's just a perfect pink. It's gorgeous, gorgeous,
yeah, it's
gorgeous.
Really cute. It goes with your shirt.
Well, Libra expects harmony but avoids necessary conflict. Hell motherfucking yeah. I've lived with 2 Libras. And I think this is because Aries are like, we're the sister signs, we're the opposite signs. So for me, Aries is the god of war. It's Mars. It rules Mars, which is conflict. So whenever I've been around living with the Libra that I lived with, 2 Libras that I lived with, they just expected everything to be like, what is it called? Hunky-dory? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like calm and peaceful, and yet they wouldn't address what needed to, like they were two-faced a little bit, where they were fake, where they weren't able to. I'm like, just say it. Just say it. Like, what? Just say it.
Your chest.
Yeah, I'm like, say it. What? Say it. Like, yeah, maybe that's why they didn't want to tell me.
They're like, I'm okay, actually.
Yeah, I think this is, this, and all of these kind of seem like maybe the Achilles heel, the kind of little, the wound that our signs, whether they're in our rising sun or moon, the things we might need to look out for or just be aware of. But have you seen that with the Libra?
Libras are the one sign that I'm actually learning about in real time. Like Libras, I'm like, I always make this joke that I'm like, what? I feel like all of their toxic traits I'm just not afraid of. Like Aries, they're gonna beat me up. Capricorns, they're gonna kill me and bury me alive. Virgos are gonna hurt me with their words, or I'll just go kill myself. Like everybody has a toxic trait, you know.
Allegedly.
Geminis, they do all this stuff that you're like, everyone has to. Libras, I'm like, so you can't make a fucking decision. I'm not afraid of that. Neither can I. I don't know what I want for dinner. I don't know what I want for breakfast. I don't even know what I want to wear today. Like, big whoop. Like, I'm just not threatened by like Libra toxic traits, you know?
Well, the thing is they are the planet or the sign of beauty. They are attached to, I think it's either Taurus or Libra is attached to Venus, but Taurus and Libra love to be in Venus. So whenever you have a Venus Libra or Venus Taurus, like you are, I think you're beautiful.
And who's afraid of that? I'm not afraid of that. That's why I'm like, whatever.
That's why I'm like, girl, just say what you need to say. You have pretty privilege. They will understand.
Laura Lee, Empress of, says that she's a Libra. She says that she feels like a really cute glitter lip gloss. She's like, certainly the ones you have to reapply like fairly frequently, but I feel like a glitter lip gloss.
And we just had her on the podcast. She's definitely a healed Libra, where she's very vocal about things, and you can tell that she's had to work on that, and it's cool because she shares that through her music, which is a creative thing, and she's beautiful, and her music is beauty, you know. So Scorpio says expects deep loyalty, but maybe overly suspicious.
This one kind of took me because as a double Scorpio, I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, 100%. You guys are like, you want to be my friend? If you want to. You do? Why? But I'm just a girl. I'm weird. I'm quirky. You sure?
Whatever. It's not like that.
Why? Yes, it is. I'm like, you want to hold my hand? Why? Because you want a hug? Why? Because you look like you need a hug. You're literally sobbing right now.
Do I have that vibe, the energy?
You guys are black eyeliner, raccoon eyes, like eyeliner, dried mascara tears. And I'm just
energy?
like, oh my God. Sometimes, yeah. You're like, it's okay. It's not that serious. It's fine. And I feel like I'm like this squishy, like, it's okay, come here. What happened? Who did it? Let me give you a hug.
Not always.
Sometimes. When people deserve it. When it's deserved. And the Scorpios are like, I don't know. I'm just a stray dog. I'm a stray cat. I'm like, do you want food? Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like I know how to get into the belly of the beast.
I do feel like I'm a mangy cat in a Sagittarius expects freedom but sometimes resists commitment.
Oh my God.
I feel like Sagittarius are just on top of their shit. So I'm always like, yeah, but commitment to what? Depends on what it is. Commitment to work, they're great. Commitment to like getting a task done, they're wonderful. You know, like commitment to what?
Relationships.
Well, I'm not.
They're runners. They're track stars.
So am I. So perfect. I'll see you on the field.
I'm not running. You will never see me on that field. I'm taking 10 minutes to walk the mile. So Capricorn.
I used to take 12 minutes.
Oh my God.
To
You'd be like,
walk it.
Maya, hustle. And I'd be like,
I have
stop.
asthma.
This is fat phobic. Capricorn expects commitment but struggles with emotional vulnerability. Yup.
That's it. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that. Aquarius. Wait, let me give a little love to Capricorns because we've gotten some. If you look at our reviews, there's a couple reviews that are like, this is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. I'm like, because you're a straight white man, probably have not gotten. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to say. Let's not say. Capricorns are stars. Period.
That's true.
So I feel like they've had some things in their lives where they've had to. They felt unsafe with emotional vulnerability, you know, so they've always had to rely on themselves for things, and that's why they're so good at they are so good at trusting themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Calm down. Aquarius expects independence. Why are you making that face? You're grimacing.
I'm smiling.
You grimace. Aquarius expects Aquarius expects independence, but sometimes forgets emotional connection. Aquarius are like aliens, and I'm lucky if I get to talk to an Aquarius for a long time because that means they've picked me. I'm a pick me girl for Aquarius.
I love Aquarius so much. I feel like I am the way that I am because of my dad. Like I'm like, hey, whatever, fuck it, let's go. You know. Also, my cousin says I need to smile more in pictures. She says, I need to practice, so I've been practicing. And I was being sincere and smiling.
This isn't a picture. Pisces expects soulmates, but may overlook red flags. Tell the souls this time.
Yeah, because they want to heal them. I literally just put something up on TikTok that I was like, why do you guys keep picking toxic people? And they're like, because we want to fix them. And you know what? With the ocean of love that you have to offer, maybe you can heal him. Maybe you can change him.
Just a little change. Small, to say the least.
I hate us. I agree with that reviewer.
Yeah, this reviewer was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. They literally are like, who would give these people a platform? What are you fucking talking about? We've had a, like, we're personality hires. I've been a personality hire since I was born. Like, yeah, me too. I know my job. I get it done. And you're just mad that we're getting paid for it, you bitch.
I know, but he's not wrong. No, I'm kidding.
And what?
Anyways, sir.
And that concludes the astrology portion of the podcast. Mess.
Well, Maya, here we are at the expectations and how we feel. We're also getting closer to the end of the season.
Is this the last episode? No, next week.
Yeah, so hopefully we can expect to see you guys again soon. But I think that, we are in life, and I think that when it comes to expectations, expect to have a good time, expect to live your best life, diva, because you can certainly expect to die, and it's all not gonna matter. So, keep doing you, sis. What about you, Maya? How do you plead?
I just took an edible. I take edibles after podcast days specifically, because don't you feel like your mouth, you can't talk anymore after podcast days?
Well,
we're talking for like 2 hours straight.
That's the only thing I'm good at, is talking for hours. So no.
Okay. Well, listen, expectations, they can make you or break you, right? Flow, let go of control, but also stand on business, okay? And maybe you're just not compatible, or maybe you're just not like, that's communication is everything. So just communicate.
Yes, it is.
Till as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Can we try to do a harmony?
Can you go find it?
Wait, one more time.
Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, just cut that part so that we do it the time that we started. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast. Curly, how can they find you on social media?
You can find me at the Curly V Show, is in Victor, on Instagram and TikTok. And where can people find you, Maya?
You can find me at Maya in the Moment, MAYA in the Moment, anywhere you scroll. Bye. Here's Goofy's version. Tale as old as time. Oh no, that's Kermit. Uh-oh. Goodbye. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to hear more episodes every single week. The Super Secret Bestie Club podcast is a production of Sonoro in partnership with iHeartRadio's My Cultura podcast network.
For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.